everyone. Welcome to In the House podcast. Sitting next to me is Morgan Browne today. And honestly, you are every girlfriend's best friend.
What?
Yeah. I'm crushing on you.
Oh, I'm like totally crushing on you, so it goes both ways.
I look up to you, like your hard work, your dedication. I really don't know how you do it.
Oh, well, thank you. I have no idea either. No, I'm just joking.
Let's talk about what you're involved in.
Okay.
Okay, so you are mother to a beautiful son, Quinn.
Yes.
You have a supportive husband,
yes,
Sean, and co-owner of Oakwyn Realty.
That's right.
You handle all the marketing, the recruiting. When did you start Oakwyn Realty?
Okay, so we started Oakwyn about 7 years ago. It was just Canada Day. So that's our birthday. So it's 7 years ago. And it's funny because Arlene, our other co-founder, her son was born the same year. So we actually just see how large like our company's growing with how big.
Could you have imagined it being this big?
I think that,
like 7 years later?
You know, as we get talking, you'll realize that I really don't have a limit. It's really like one of those things that, when I decided to work with Mike and Arlene, because they were brother and sister, I said, you know, we really have to, there's no ceiling here, right? So, yeah, I mean, I guess to answer your question, I really did expect it, but I don't think I expected it to the same time. Like period.
Okay.
Like I think we moved it very quickly. We were, you know, obviously one of the fastest growing companies. So it's been
and the reputation just has heightened up just with the standards you guys are just setting for the industry. It's amazing.
I think we were very lucky that we have. It's not us. It's the people that come along for the ride as well, right? We've been so lucky to have a really referral-based brokerage, which really allows those agents to be recommended and referred by other people that are in our family. You know, we're really a nice group of people that really want to make sure that they work with people they like.
Yeah, that's really important because that's what I find lacking in a lot of the brokerages. And this is my 4th brokerage over like 17 years, is culture. It's so important to have the right team around you. And what I mean by team is peers and colleagues who are willing to share information, managing brokers who are picking up their phone and just giving very objective advice. Advice, yeah. And owners like you guys.
Well,
like
it's so nice. Well, thank you. I think we're jazzed every day to wake up. You know, we're very lucky we can go to roll out of bed and be excited to go to work.
Yeah, no, it looks nice. Like it doesn't even look like you guys ever sleep.
We're really funny. You know, obviously with my son, I've made it very clear, like from the get-go. You know, I started working right when I had my son. So like meaning not working, but like left the house sooner than a typical maternity leave for anyone that's an entrepreneur. They understand. And since day one, I've always made my son know, like when I go to work every day, I'm like, guess where mommy gets to go? Guess what mommy gets to do today? Mommy gets to go to work. I'm so excited because I want him to have this really positive you know, association to you know, their working mother. So that's been really important. So I'm very lucky I get to do that and show my son that I get to wake up every day and love what I do. Or
you're just prepping him to be your assistant.
He's my CEO baby.
Top producer.
He's my CEO baby. I don't want him to be a CEO. I want him to be a shareholder. No, he's great.
And what else do you do? You're a co-host of Oakwyn Podcast.
Yes, Oakwyn Realty Podcast.
That's great. You were on your 7th or 8th episode, or
we're on like 15th,
16th
episode now. We're so excited. Yeah, wow. It's been really good. So I do. I have a whirlwind of different titles and places, but the Oakwyn Podcast is so great. I get a great producer who's also right next to me right now.
Hey, Brayden.
Brayden. And we're just, that's been so exciting because that's been kind of an educational piece. We really did it to bring people more into us and to understand like why Oakwyn is where it is, and also to educate as many people as we possibly can in a career to real estate, which has really, really been fun. Yeah,
were you finding that it was lacking that, you know, before Oakwyn was formed, and you know, what kind of experience did you have with your previous brokerage?
Yeah, well, Oakwyn really started myself and obviously my two partners, like we obviously have been in the business for over a decade, and we felt there was like a little bit of a need, more than like a want, it's more like a need for a really supportive place for entrepreneurs to go to. And I think that was the biggest, for me, what was the biggest differentiation between going to a brokerage like, you know, one of the general brokerage houses that we have here in Vancouver, was they really treated us like their staff or salespeople. And for me, I was always born and bred to be kind of an entrepreneur, and I really see every Oakwynite as an entrepreneur. It's really their own storefront. They walk into the door every day, they set their own hours, they can work as much as they want, they can not work as much as they want, and they can really reach for the skies with this career. So it was very important for us to make a place, a safe place where people will feel supported and be serviced to the highest potential. And that's the big thing, is we really have always put people first. And when we make decisions for Oakwyn, when we make decisions for the company, it's really based on them. It's not us.
No, I really feel that. Absolutely. In all the messaging and the emails and the reach outs and the personal touches that you guys have, I can certainly say it's all on a whole different level.
Well, thank you. It's been fun. I don't believe that it doesn't make it one talented person. It's not one talented person. We have so many talented people here working alongside us, but it's really all about a talented team. You know, it's about the team that comes together.
Yeah. And in the meantime, you're a top producer. You made President's Club this first quarter.
Yes.
Like, how do you do all this? Like, so run us through like a day in the life of Morgan, because you're at like 200% level. I swear. Like, you come in, you're strolling, you're laughing. Doesn't look like you lost any sleep, and you have a son. So
I didn't lose any sleep last night. I slept right through the night. I was like, what happened? I woke up, I was like, no one's waking me up.
And even the other day you were golfing in the morning.
I do golf in the morning.
How did you even time block that in?
I brought someone with me so I could make that an appointment. So the best thing about my career is that no week is the same. Like not one day is the same. But I do have a very incredible, like I have a calendar that I really stick to, and I even have to block out time for myself for that. I have a deep work specific time where I call it my deep work, where I can just be myself and collect my thoughts, whether it's a creative piece for Oakwyn or if it's a new project. I do take the time for myself. But yeah, like all the morning is really based on me working out and taking care of myself, being with my family in the morning. I don't really leave to go to work until a specific time, and then I get to really spend some like really quality time with my son and my husband. And then I usually have executive team meetings in the morning, bright and early, every single day from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and then Oak Wednesday meetings, and then client calls throughout the day with listings. But I have an incredible resale team, going back to that, I'm so lucky to work with all female group of people. I have all my female working people at the office, and my men are at home. It's very funny. Yeah. And that's why I like it. That's how I like it.
Like intentional that you only hire women, or does that just come to you naturally?
I think it just came to me naturally. I think I've always been drawn to females that are just really, that just want like a role model or someone like a coach or some sort of mentor. And so if there's anything that I can do to help that or assist, then that's how it's kind of been drawn to me, I guess. Yeah. But I'm really lucky. I think it's very important to work with women, especially in a business like this, because there's nobody that understands it like we do. The way that we do our deals, or the way that we discuss with clients, or the struggles that we have when we're dealing with a married couple or a divorced couple, it's very something that only females will feel, or single men, right? So I think that's always been something I wanted to coach somebody through and say, hey, like, this is how you're going to maneuver around this. This is how you're going to be respected in this position as a valuable professional. Right. And then, of course, it's way more fun.
So some of our listeners are going to be real estate agents, and they may be considering joining a team, or maybe just even like going out on their own. So how large is your team? How is it structured?
I used to have 5 associates, 3 buyers agents, and then administrative assistant, but I actually just recently kind of kept it nice and tight. And so now I have just my one associate who's been with me for 4 or 5 years, Desiree McNulty, who I love deeply, and then I have my administrative EA, who's Ayala, who's just really the person that lets things happen for me. So now I only have the 3.
And then magic happens.
Magic happens.
So if they were considering a team, what are some of the pros and what are some, like, name a couple of pros and name a couple of cons?
Yeah, so I think number one, what people should know is I actually never had a team for 7 to 8 years. I was a solo agent, top producing agent. I had no assistant. I was solo. I actually was asked by a lot of other teams to join, and I always denied it. So I think with regards to choosing a team, number one, you have to know that that's the route for you. Like, meaning you're not looking to be the person that's on the first person to be applauded, I guess, in that sense. You have to be able to say, like, this is a team effort. This is something that you're going to have to collaborate with. So that's number one, is to just understand that it's not going to be like a one-man show. You're going to have to kind of create that. And with that, you get to celebrate with more people. So the positive to that is that you actually get to celebrate those wins, and that's even more rewarding. I'll tell you, being on both sides, it's way better celebrating with a team. The second is that you will learn and accelerate way faster if you do have a mentor or someone that's been in the business for a long time, because typically they'll be doing a lot more volume. You're going to be able to see a lot more clients, a lot more situations, a lot more deals. So you will be able to learn a lot more by experience. And if you're a solo agent, you really have to make those things happen for yourself, or you have to somehow be able to make those appointments with those top producers and really get a feel from their experiences, but you won't see it firsthand. And someone how it happens. But the biggest tip that I can say, if you're going to join a team, you have to make sure that you speak the same language as the lead or as all the people in the team that you have. So
creating the similar values, the same values,
same training, but also just like your voice. And what I mean by that is
the language that you're using.
Morals, like your same morals and your same professionalism, and that you have the same standard. Like, you know, I will say I've had so many associates, and luckily I've been able to pick that way. But what I've noticed with people that do break up is they weren't going for the same destination, or they didn't understand that person solely for like who they were, and that's really a hard thing to have as a person that's associated, is that you might judge or assume that person is thinking something. So you really want to know that person inside and out.
Would you get that in writing, like the team agreement in writing?
I would 100% get it in writing. I think everything in writing. We're in real estate. But a big part of that is, you know, one person, a mentor to me in my life, said, you know, resumes are resumes, deals are deals. But really, when you sit across from a person for a long period of time, or you go away with a person, you really feel the essence of somebody. So I'm all about really spending quality time with that individual. I'll give you an example for my assistant. She came in without being paid, and she came and worked with us for about, you know, I think like a couple days, where we just wanted to feel her out. We just wanted to feel her out, feel out how she was. And then by the end of it, we were both like, we're in love with her. Let's keep her. And that type of thing is very important, because it could have gone the other way. And she was willing. She agreed to that. She agreed to it. Yeah, because obviously she needs to prove herself. Yeah, exactly.
How many deals should someone start considering adding a team member 30. Or an assistant at 30 deals?
Yeah, 30 deals. I think you can preamp it at 20, but everything is great but you have to make sure all your prospecting, it's funny, everyone's like, how many deals does it have to be to hit? But the biggest thing is not about the deals, it's about the volume of calls and the things that you're capturing. To me, that's more important. So if you're missing out on properties because you're just spread too thin, you need help. You need assistance. And there's going to be some people out there that can take on a lot on their plate, and then there's going to be some that are disorganized within 15 deals. So you have to know yourself, know what you really can take on.
I mean, I did a expert panel a few weeks ago, and one of the lessons I've learned was to actually start a system from the very beginning, from the get-go. Because once you start getting busy, you're going to fall behind.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, totally.
So what are some of the tools that you use in your everyday business to communicate with clients, to communicate within the team?
Yeah, so we're all on WhatsApp chats with all of our clients. So I've made it so that everyone will win on my team. So if I win, they win. If one person wins with a client, everyone wins. So what's important to me is that we're all a cohesive group. I don't want to feel like that person on the associate side is doing something. I have never met that person. I've not touched them. So what we've done is we've always created these like WhatsApp chats with our clients or iPhone chats, so that even though we may have not met them or we don't have a very close relationship with them, we know what's going on with that deal. Right. We know when they're winning. We know that when it's a struggle, so that we can come together and say, hey, let's problem solve this. Let's make a solution to this. So that's number one. Number two is a good CRM. It's like a whiteboard to us. We use it, right now we're using Reach, which is actually done by Cam Walker, who's an agent here. He built a CRM. I'm actually beta testing it, so I am shouting out him right now. But it's incredible, and it's a credible system because it's made by a realtor, so they get it. They understand, like, this is the only things we really need to have. And that's important to just have to be able to keep tabs, measure your success, which is very important to me. So is this working? Is this advertisement working? How many hits are we getting from this? And that type of CRM is going to be able to help you assist you to it.
Are you evaluating this like every month or at the end of the year? Because it takes a lot for it to get that momentum. You know what I mean? I always say, just don't do one postcard. You're like mailing out once a month, twice a month, and for like 12 months.
Right. So we measure it by quarter. So we have the 4 quarters of the year, and we'll see how many deals came from that, or how many buyers, sellers have come from it. And from there, it becomes a kind of a piece for us to go. There's been years where I've had no success. Like I've hit them 2 to 3 times. That has happened in the first quarter, and then there's been nothing. So it shows the time of the market. It shows consumerism. It shows where people's heads are at, and usually it's dictated by what's happening in the larger scale of the market. And the world economy as well.
And thank you for sharing your Google Doc. You were talking about budgeting and where costs are coming from, the rate of return for all the marketing avenues that you guys do in your business, and you were sharing the Google Doc with everybody that joined the webinar.
Oh yeah, we are all about sharing here at Oakwyn. We always believe that one person is going to take it and add to it. So that's been our big call to action for our realtors here at Oakwyn, is to say, hey, listen, let's share and build on it and come back to it. There's been so many times where people have looked at my flyer and they said, hey, you should just tweak this, and I tweaked it, and all of a sudden I got a call from it. So I think that's a huge part of it. Sharing.
Well, thanks guys for listening. If you're just joining us, we are here with Morgan Browne, co-founder and owner of Oakwyn Realty, and I just want to talk a little bit about the theme for this year with Women of Oakwyn. AKA Woo.
Yes, Woo.
What is the theme?
Woo, woo, woo. Well, for some people that do not know what Woo is Women of Oakwyn, which is kind of, I would say, our passion project from the get-go. My passion project specifically. Being in the industry for over a decade, I've seen a lot of inequality with male to female in our business. I've seen a lot of people feeling very coming to me and having questions about, how do I deal with this male? How do I deal with this female? And then I also saw a lot on a larger scale where women were not supporting one another, and they were really adding to that criticism and to that pain, and also there's another side of safety, right? So for female safety in our industry,
we're already so hard on ourselves, and why do we need to do that with each other?
I don't know and that's why Woo, it's really a mandate to kind of say, break those barriers down, come together collectively, and support one another. We have to be each other's biggest fans.
And unfortunately this year we couldn't.
I know, and we have it at the Vancouver Club, and for people that are tuning in that are not from Vancouver, it's used to be an all-male club, so we made it there kind of as a funny homage.
Oh, that's intentional. I actually never really thought about that.
It used to be in the male club, so now I love standing up on that podium and saying, oh, it's a whole group of females. sitting here listening to us. And yeah, we usually have it's always changing, and that's the goal. You know, I'm not a person of habit. Sounds terrible, but I love change. I love refreshing things. I love evolving things. So Oakwyn this year would have actually been in the evening with cocktails, so that didn't happen. I was very mad. Well, rosé was going to be the #1 drink.
Let's get your address.
I know.
We'll come over.
But then this year we obviously did everything digitally, and we were able to kind of work with our agencies to showcase one of our themes, which was kind of think big and then go bigger. And that was a very, very important theme for us. One, because I was kind of paying homage to Arlene, my partner's father, who told her that on his, as one of his dying wishes, which is think big. And second is, I think females, and I think women in general, what's so interesting to me is that 50% of the startups right now are women, entrepreneurs, like 50%. So that's like, that used to be 15, 20%. Yeah. But at the same time, men are they're still claiming half of the revenue. And I don't know if it's because women are starting things organically. They're afraid to go ask for funding. They're afraid of going into banks and getting institution to help them. So what they usually do is most women start a business themselves with their own money. Right. They actually wait, where men actually go and ask for some capital. They actually help. They get asked for the help to kind of build in. And I think the whole point of think big and go bigger is for you to have this audacious goal and vision of what you want, but like go bigger from that is the next part of that, which is create that limitless ceiling for yourself.
Why do you think women limit themselves? Like they have these ideas and then maybe they don't follow through, or maybe they're just like taking baby steps or slowly kind of getting that warm up to thinking big. So what's lacking?
I think the #1 thing that's lacking is courage. That element of, the element of being able to say, I'm not going to be a people pleaser, which we were kind of raised to be as females. Like, be nice, sit down nice, like, look good,
Keep quiet.
Keep quiet, be in this form. Like, you're a girl, this is how you're going to support.
Follow
you're going
to leader.
Follow the leader, where they're afraid of actually being that leader, having those choices.
Having a voice.
Yeah. And that's where that kind of stems from.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's actually ingrained in us. Yeah. So what we need to do as women is we need to kind of say, we're bigger than this, we're better than this, and it's not just about who is going to be the one who's the male or the female, it's whoever's the best qualified person.
Well, it starts with the mindset then, right?
It's always a mindset.
Yeah.
I'm a huge person of visualization. I manifest everything in my life. I actually do believe that. I actually just had a crazy thing happen to me that was completely on my vision board.
Okay.
And I'm not going to share it because it's actually very
personal.
No, not personal at all. It's very it's something that I like. Again, it's something I dreamt for, right? So this is something that is in my career, which is a big part of it, and it was on my vision board, and it was very funny when it happened. I looked at when I got a call I looked on my vision board and I was like, it's right there. Like my vision board is right there.
Wow.
Which is cool.
When did you make your vision board?
I make it every year, but I have the same one for the last. I've had the same one for the last 4 years where I've added to it, but I have in the middle of my vision board, I have my age with one big milestone I want to hit.
Okay.
And I've hit every single one for the last 4 years.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How do you keep track, how do you keep focused when you got so many things happening and personal issues may come up? How does one keep track of being on that goal, that state of mind?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I am very ambitious. I'm a very ambitious person, and that's one thing I had to wrestle with, especially being as a mother. I was like, where do I go? What's my, but it's everyone says there's no such thing as balance, but there is a careful balance of my time, personal time, family life, and business. I have to segment all those 3 things, But once I realized that I don't have to choose each one at different times. I can actually let them all coexist. That was very important to me, is number one, mentally getting over that hurdle that I had to be 100% on this and 100% here all the time.
Right.
I had to let them all coexist together.
Right. My word is infuse. I love that word. Infusing like the work and life and just like, because you can enjoy everything at the same time.
You can.
Right?
You have to. Yes,
and
I love
especially
that word.
in our business, it's like our business is based on relationships and sphere of influence. And the biggest advocates and the biggest ambassadors for your business are people around you. Right?
100%. Average of all 5, right? Average of all 5.
Yeah. So you just did a podcast with Sean Ocean about Women of Oakwyn. And you guys talked about racism, and you and Michael were talking about racism, and I'm so thankful that you shared your personal story about bullying and what you encountered with your dad. That it actually resonated with me, because I also experienced racism and bullying when I was young too, in elementary school. So it like really hit home when you were talking about your story about about being bullied.
Yes, I was very bullied.
So it's unbelievable.
Look at me now, ladies. I'm just joking.
There you go, ladies. It's unbelievable. We still have to deal with this today.
We do. Yeah, one of my very close friends just she's Asian, and she was in Chinatown, and she was walking, and someone just pulled down her window and said a very, very heavy racist slur and spat on her.
Wow.
So I think, one thing I will say is, my mother taught me, not by words, but by action. And what I believe is that, bullies are just trying to dim your light. And I think that's been a very hard thing this is really overall, this overarching, racism is so connected to bullying. It's, there's so much there with that. And education, right? So education to it. But, it's very hard to change people's mind, but you have to be able to bound together with very like-minded people to stand up for that right, for sure. Yeah.
I think this is a little bit big for me to think this way, but to not segregate it into happy, International Women's Day or happy, Black History Month. Like, I think if we were to just celebrate for that month, then we're really just, negating the fact that we should be talking about it every day and celebrating everybody's humanity every day. Right?
I think it's they've always kind of set a point, because it can't happen all year round. So they just set a point that there's one part of victory and kind of celebration, so they can push it through. But I hear what you're saying, and it should be an overarching thing that people are constantly reminded of. And I think it has become that. I think with technology now, we're able to see it a lot more, where 5 years ago, we didn't have that.
Well, and the platforms that we're using right now, like you and I, we have this luxury of being able to have this arena and a safe place to talk about this, and to publicly provide just our opinion, just our experiences, so that we can share our train of thought and our opinions, and hopefully affect somebody else's.
Very lucky.
Change their mind as well.
Yeah, so
true. What are some of the things that we have to deal with as a woman in our business? Like, I've dealt with sexism, safety concerns, harassment from people just texting me from my bus benches. It's not very fair that we have to deal with that.
No, it's not very fair at all. And I think to dismantle that as much as we can, we number one, we have to start from within. There's a lot of that banter comes from a lot of females as well. It actually comes from, I don't know how many times I walked by an office or something, not at Oakwyn, but previous to my place of work, where they're saying, oh, that girl's such a, whatever, and she's got this, and that's so first of all, wow. You're just really diminishing everything there. So that starts with number one, is female to female. We need to be each other's support, and we need to make sure that we have each other's backs, especially with times of sexual harassment, especially with times of bullying and calls. And then also, just with regards to, to answer your question of what I've gone through personally, I've gone through everything what you just said. I've gone to where people have come to my open houses late so that they could you know, be around me. Luckily, I have all the safety nets for that. But the biggest thing is the judgment from our male counterparts, where they think that you have to choose between your work and your family life.
Right.
And just, you know, I've had people say to me, well, you can't be a top producer as a mother.
Right. Wow. And did you get talked to about going back to work right away?
Oh my God. I was like, oh, so who's your son?
Yeah.
You know, there's another person that created that son. It's called my husband. And I'm very lucky. I will say this, that my husband is, you know, we always say people always say, oh, you're self-made or whatever. I would be nowhere without my husband. He is literally the person that has lifted me up and gave me courage when I didn't have it, and kept me in my frame of mind, and creates this incredible peace and peaceful place for me to go back to every single day. So I'm very lucky. But I would say, yeah, like I had a lot of that right away. And also internally, you know, like, am I going back too soon? You know, like, you know, all that kind of stuff that you go through as a working mother, which is really deep. Yeah. And
even just like forming a healthy relationship at home, because very strong type A, you know, we're very type A personalities. And you mentioned in one of your podcasts that Sean is kind of a laid back guy, and like, you take control, Morgan. So do you feel like you need some like counterbalance that way to work out at home? Yeah,
I think you also have to just be very like, you have to be true to your form, right? Like I believe that, you know, I'm not the housewife material. I do not cook. I do not clean. I clean definitely. I pick up. I'm a clean person for sure, but I'm not like a cooker. I'm not a cleaner. I'm not. But I am an extreme nurturer, right? I have a lot of love to give, and I have a lot of love to give to my whole family. So, and where my husband, he enjoys cooking. He like, it's his therapy, you know. He makes handmade pasta. He's just incredible. And he takes care of the family that way. And in my family, my father was the cooker. So it's funny how like
naturally
women just like in my family just sit there and wait for the men to.
Well, we're not just.
We're very lucky. Okay? We're talking about them. No, I'm just joking. But you know, I would say you have to have that counterbalance, but you have to know who you are. You know, like I think a lot of people are really ashamed of what they want and what they need in life, and you have to sit down there and be really honest with yourself. And you know, for some people that's a monetary thing, and some people that's not, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with that's what your feelings are to that, right? And a lot of people are success driven. And for me, I'm a creator. I like to be busy. I'm a person that I need to have a place to express myself. I enjoy talking to people. It's like really part of, you know, I don't like a dead noise space. I'm the type of person where my phone is ringing and I enjoy talking to people. Where my husband is very, you know, he really likes to do projects and likes to do things himself that are very internal, and he keeps to himself. So we're very lucky. I'm lucky to admit
a really good partnership.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. I always say I didn't deserve him, for sure. Yeah, I didn't deserve this guy.
Shout out to Sean.
Shout out to Sean.
What's a common trait or skill we possess that you see in all of the women at Oakwyn?
What a good question, Jenny. The top producing female realtors, they have grit and they have guts. They don't see themselves as a female to male. The counterpart is who's gonna push through here. Like, it's never been about men, female. For women, that's number one. So they don't really put themselves into a gender at all. Okay. Like, they're very like, I'm a realtor, he's a realtor.
Yeah, and not to say that they're very masculine at all.
No,
it's just that they know what they want.
They know what they want, and they know that they're good at it. I think that's number one. But I think the thing that mostly that they possess as entrepreneurs, as realtors, female specific top producers, is that they're not afraid to ask questions and ask people and go out on a limb for things. Like, they really just like put themselves out there, or they'll speak to someone and really ask those hard questions with pure confidence. It's like, it's something that I think every top producer, male or female, has
to have. Yeah.
That's like, and second is the grit, which is they have very thick skin.
Yeah.
They can go in and these women are.
I think we've heard enough no's in our entire career that we're like, yeah, okay, we can handle this.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're all like, you know, especially when women are holding a lot of product, and I think that we, like men or female, the top producers in general always know that it will sell.
Right.
They're not in any agenda to rush it or push it. They just know it's going to sell. They just keep on going. We just keep on doing our thing. There's so much grit with that. It's amazing.
Actually, I'm very curious. Do any of the men at Oakwyn ask for an event as well, like Men of Oakwyn?
Oh, I got that like right away. But you know what I said? It's like having pride. It's like having. We've had so much inequality as females. It would just not make any sense.
Yeah.
It's time for you guys to just sit down for a second. And that's actually part of the reason why I incorporated the women of Oakwyn of the spouse. So last year I asked all the spouses of the men at Oakwyn to come in and join, because I wanted them to know that, you know, it's them that lets their world be created. It's not just like a female like realtor thing. It's the women of Oakwyn in general.
Right.
And the goal is that it's not so segregated to just Oakwyn. It's to build it out and to create a new very event, like a new break point for all realtors, all entrepreneurs. Yeah, that's the goal.
And other brokerages should also follow suit. I'm just surprised that they're just sitting back watching what Oakwyn's doing, and it's just pretty sad, don't you think?
I think it's, you know what, I believe that we've done, you know, our goal was to constantly challenge brokerages out there to change their norm. And we've done that in so many ways. And I've seen people follow suit in many different ways. And I do see some essences at other brokerages where they're highlighting more of their female realtors. And that's enough for me to be very excited about. Yeah.
Well, that's good that we're changing this industry.
We are changing it.
Changing the industry.
No, we're all changing it together.
So what are you currently working on that we can look forward to? I know you're talking about writing for a magazine.
Personally, I'm going to be writing contributing to a magazine, which is really amazing.
Okay, are you allowed to say the name of the magazine?
I cannot, but it's awesome.
Okay. Do you know when it's going to be first published?
I don't know. I think it's in a month from now. Okay. But I'll be regularly, hopefully, in it, which is my goal. We obviously have our Oakwyn Podcast, which is we are so jazzed about. It's so much fun. You'll really get to know Michael and I as a team for sure. And then, you know, my main focus for Oakwyn, myself as being the president here, is for growth, right? So I do a lot of the growing, the marketing, the brand, and I'm always trying to challenge the brand as much as possible. I really never want it to look like a cliche brokerage where we're just putting up you know, listings and talking about, you know, very general real estate market updates. We really try to challenge it because we believe that Oakwyn is not just a place to, you know, do deals, you know, work with clients. It's really a place to grow, and it's a place to be serviced and to be amongst really people that are aligned.
Right.
So hopefully you guys will see some really incredible new branding pieces. And then this week and this next upcoming week will be a lot of new swags for Pride.
Ooh.
I'm so excited. I just saw them. They're amazing. So we're just excited. You know, I'm just lucky to be seeing some really incredible things that we've planted grow in the next 6 months.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have time for 10 rapid questions?
Sure.
Okay, this is going to be fun. Okay.
Rapid.
So, if you were not selling real estate, what would you be doing?
I would be probably building properties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is Sean in construction? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd probably doing something along that side, or I would be doing. I love journalism, and I love, you know, being able to. I'd probably write a book, or I'd do something like that.
And you're always switching like furniture in your home too, right?
I'm like a switcher. I love design. Yeah. Design is like I think that's, you know, some people are really creative in ways of drawing and music. I'm definitely that person of interior design or
Guys, I was actually texting Morgan yesterday. I was at Mo's Furniture, and I was like, "Hey, Morgan, I remember you doing some sort of PR piece for them, and do you get a discount?" So, anyways, guys,
go, guys!
What's
20% off?
Okay.
I think it's Oakwyn. You can just say Oakwyn, or you can just drop my name. They'll be. I was very lucky to be asked to do things with them too.
You have a lot of connections around the city. And then you were talking about cycling with me too.
Peloton.
Yeah.
That's the way to go, guys.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Peloton. Oakwyn Rides. Hashtag.
I didn't know about that. I need to join that club.
Yeah,
I got to get used to this cycling thing. I don't know if I can do it.
Eric Grant's always on. Like
really?
And my husband, out of 40,000 people, my husband will rank 40th.
Wow.
He's so strong. I'm so jealous. I'm like, I'm at like 20,000. He's like, I'm at 41. So crazy.
So you don't go back to the classes anymore then? Like when it's allowed?
You know what? It's funny. Because I'm a mom and because I really want to have so much time with my son when I can, I wanted something that was so easy for me to get to.
Right.
And so I actually got the Peloton before this whole COVID, everything before, and because I realized, oh my gosh, this is so great for me to have. And then, I mean,
you were in front of the class when we were doing that charity ride.
Yes, I'm a rider for sure.
I couldn't catch up to you.
I love really heavy duty music, hip hop. That's like my go-to.
Go-to?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Go-to.
Advice you would give your younger self?
My younger self, I would say to her, it's funny because I feel like, I would say just keep on believing. Like just keep on believing. I've known as a very young kid, like 5 to 10 things about my life. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I've always had these like weird things that I like know 5 things about myself, and I think that my belief and my faith in what I believe is what makes it come true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about courage a little bit earlier, and I truly believe you have to just go for it, gain that courage to just see what happens, take that risk, and then you gain the confidence from there.
100%.
Rather than the other way around.
Yeah, rather than the other way around. You do get the confidence. I think I'm naturally a very impatient person, but I'm very high level realistic. So those two combinations work to create this like measured decision.
Yeah, and magic.
Magic.
Yeah.
Magic.
What's something people don't know about you?
People. I'm really an open book, guys. So, I've always wanted to be like a serial entrepreneur. It's always been like my passion is to have like 10 different buckets of different things.
Yeah. That's a great way for passive income, obviously.
Yeah, I've always just liked to be super. I think people think, oh, you've started Oakwyn so young, and you were always like, you got into the business so young. But I think I kind of in a weird way wish I had more, because when I first started college, I was like, I'm gonna open up a hair salon, a nail salon, a restaurant, and a coffee shop all in the same row. Like I'm that person, right? So I mean that's one thing. I'm also, one thing that people don't know me, I'm really actually extremely closed doors at home. Like I don't like to talk to any neighbors, like because I'm so out there in other places. I really like to kind of be very reclusive to my own home. Like it's very, my husband's so funny. He's like, you don't ever want to say hi to anybody. I'm like, so I don't want to say hi to anybody. I'll close the curtains, and I'm like,
it's kind of the Asian thing.
Yeah, it is. Like I've like been always around bushes around my whole house all the time. Like my dad's like, keep it closed. So yeah, and I'm very private. I'm very private in my family life for sure.
That is for sure something I would not have imagined you'd be like.
Cut out the other part, but that one was good.
Where's your favorite breakfast spot?
I'm not a breakfast person.
Okay,
I'm not a breakfast person, but
said that.
I'm a huge cinnamon bun person.
Ooh, yum.
So Grounds on Commercial Drive, I might go there after
Another
this.
plug.
Their cinnamon buns are, they're beyond amazing. So I'll like wake up in the morning at like 6 o'clock. I usually wake up at 6 o'clock. And I'll like go there, get the warm cinnamon buns right when they come out of the oven, and I'll eat them for like the rest of the day.
You're making me really
I know,
hungry.
So good. Don't skip the icing, they're amazing.
If you could make any documentary, what would it be about?
I'd probably make a documentary on my father's life.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know much about it and I'd have to do the research. But it's, you know, my father's an immigrant, so he came from like guerrilla warfare in the Philippines, and I feel like that's something that I might do later on in life.
Wow.
Is really kind of venture into that.
Does he not talk about it a lot?
No.
No,
Yeah.
okay. Just brings back bad memories, or just, okay.
My dad is very, like my husband, chill, cool, happy, good guy. Yeah. But he's been my mentor in life just by that grit, that tenacity, that courage, that, you know, he's always told me all my life, like, you know, don't let any man have to do it for you, do it first yourself. And like dad. Like my first home, everything that I've had is through myself first. Yeah. And he's raised that bar very high, so I'd love to see why he's like that, which would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself after being a mom?
Not to care about what anyone thinks.
Good one.
You know, keep it, you know, and yeah, not to care what people think. Do it for your unit. I think that's been the biggest eye opener.
Yeah. Did you care a lot before?
Not really. Like, I've always been like quite like outspoken in the sense that I don't care too much what people think. But I think that when you start a business, you're hearing a lot of noises, and you're becoming, you might go to the refrain of being very reactive. And I think what it's taught me is it's a process in whatever you choose, like whatever decisions you make, or whatever opportunities brought to you, or if you hear things from different people. Just not caring what people think is a big part of your success.
I found like even starting this podcast, just being really authentic. How can anybody hate you for that? You know, you're just speaking your truth.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. And also like your past is your past. Like I think a lot of people like always have so much baggage and like thought of it. For me, I've never really been like that. I have a terrible long-term memory. So I would say I'm that's one thing that really got pushed forward is, you know, live for today and live for tomorrow.
Yeah,
not live in that.
I love that motto. If the genie grants you one wish, what would your wish be?
It would be, I know exactly what it would be. It'd be my dream house. It would be it's not my dream house, but yet it will come true for me. But I would say I have this picture of this house on the water, and I'm a big water person, you know, so I would be sitting in my chair looking off on the water, and I'd be at this incredible amount of contentment that I'd be there.
And you wouldn't pick up any of Michael's phone calls? No,
I would never pick up. I'd be like, Michael, stop FaceTiming me. Actually, he'd probably, knowing him, he'd be like, I'm buying the place next to you, so we could be besties. I'd be like, you're in my neighborhood. We can hang out together. Yeah.
Last question. I am here to
serve.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Morgan. I appreciate you opening up and talking to our audience here, and I love you so much.
I love you so much. I'm gonna get all, you know, like the way you talk about Oakwyn, I'm like, you're a dream. You know us inside and out. You really do.
I'm so happy to be part of this team.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.